Samson, a hero of legendary strength and one of the most dramatic figures in the Bible, was chosen by God to free Israel from the Philistines. From his birth in Judges 13, his destiny was marked by the supernatural. Samson's mother, previously barren, was visited by an angel who announced that she would have a son consecrated to God from the womb. A Nazirite who would never cut his hair because his strength would come directly from this sacred vow. So Samson grew up endowed with superhuman strength, called for a great purpose. In Judges 14, his story takes on an adventurous twist when, as a young man, Samson confronts a lion with his bare hands and tears it apart as if it were easy prey. However, his passions end up bringing him into constant conflict. In love with a Philistine woman, he decides to marry her, in defiance of divine guidance. During the wedding feast, he proposes a riddle to the Philistines, but when he is betrayed by his wife, he feels the bitterness of disappointment and sets off on a journey of revenge, culminating in a brutal episode where he kills 30 men to pay off his lost bet. He abandons his wife and, filled with rage, starts a private war against the Philistines. Samson's anger grows and he becomes a figure feared by his enemies. In an epic act of retaliation, he captures 300 foxes, ties torches to their tails, and lets them loose on the Philistines' crops, destroying entire harvests. But the fury of the Philistines only increases, and they pursue Samson relentlessly. Without fear of death, he faces 1,000 soldiers using only the jawbone of a donkey. However, his weakness for women leads him to meet Delilah, a Philistine woman bribed to discover the secret of his strength. Trying to protect him, Samson deceives her several times, but Delilah insists until he reveals the truth. His strength lies in his hair, which has never been cut. Taking advantage of Samson's trust, Delilah betrays him and, while he sleeps, cuts off his braids. The Philistines invade, and for the first time, he feels the weight of vulnerability. Captured, he is humiliated and has his eyes gouged out, reduced to a blind prisoner working in a mill. However, Samson's story does not end in defeat. In the temple of Dagon, where the Philistines are holding a great feast, he is taken to be publicly humiliated. At that moment, Samson says one last prayer. "O Lord, remember me and give me strength just once more." Feeling his strength returning, he leans on the pillars of the temple and, with a final act of faith and sacrifice, brings the structure down, killing everyone present, including himself. This final act culminates in a victory that frees Israel from the Philistines, demonstrating that, despite his failings, Samson fulfilled the purpose that God had determined. Samson's story is a powerful reminder of how God's gifts must be honored and protected, and that redemption can come even after a lifetime of mistakes. It reveals the depth of divine mercy, showing that, even in falls and weaknesses, there is still the possibility of redemption and the fulfillment of God's purpose for those who seek God.